What's the main improvement that you make in your game throughout your years in Minnesota? Obviously, you're going back there again, but I mean, your overall progression. Can you put words into how it was for you?
Yeah, I think my game just matured. I know what it takes for me to take that next step, and I think that's just playing good defense and breaking pucks out and just being smart all over the ice. So I think that's kind of where my game has matured the most.
Do you feel like you sacrificed a bit of that personal progression to go back 1 year to college to try to win that championship? Like, do you think there could have been more growth as you choosing to play pro this coming season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's pros and cons to both, and I think being a leader that'll help me mature more as a person. And yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of pros and cons, and yeah, that was kind of just the decision I made. So
I imagine one of the pros is, especially this week, seeing a guy like Helge Mooney who's going to be on your team next week. What did you see that it gets you excited for next season?
Oh my gosh, that skill there is unbelievable. Like, I think if he was 2 inches taller, he would have been top 5. Like, that skill is pretty much something I've never seen before. So I'm excited, to say the least. So that'll be fun.
Rob Ramage mentioned like how big of a deal a championship could be in Minnesota, a national championship in Minnesota. Like, in your own words, what are the Gophers over there, and what does the hockey program mean?
Oh man,
for guys like you?
Yeah, I love it. I've been a Minnesota Gopher fan since I was 3 years old. So bringing a championship there would mean everything to me, and that's what I intend to do when I come back. So.
Were you also a Wild fan, or it was only about the Gophers?
Yeah, I did love the Wild too. Those early teams with like Ryan Suter, Zach Parise, I loved. So yeah, I was both.
How would you describe the type of help that Rob and Frankie provided you, since you joined the Canadiens organization?
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, their communication is top notch, and it's not too much to where it's overwhelming, but it's just the perfect amount. So. Yeah, I think Rob does a great job of just reminding me what kind of my game is and to not get too excited doing something else. So, yeah, I love what they're doing, and they've helped me a ton.
Has it always been natural for you to be kind of that complete defenseman, or did that come with age?
I think it came with age a little bit, to be honest. When you're younger, I think all you're thinking is offense and scoring goals, and you need guys on the team that just want to shut it down and help the team win.
Is that part of the realization also that this is what you need to become a pro eventually? Or?
Yeah, 100%. That's for sure. Another part of it is, I may not have as much skill as Lane Hudson and those guys. They're unbelievably skilled. So, yeah, just kind of shut it down and try not to let the other team score.
Was it a tough decision for you to deciding whether to go back or whether to turn pro or which route to take?
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I mean, coming here, it makes it hard because they do such a good job, and you're treated like a true professional, and it's unbelievable. So it was a hard decision, but I think my heart's in Minnesota right now. So
now, by going for your senior year, it takes you closer to free agency if that's the path you choose. Is that an option you wanted to have just in case you don't see much of a fit for you here in your organization?
No, it's not really an option for me. I went undrafted 2 years, and then Montreal picked me up, and that was the first team that showed faith in me, so I kind of want to repay that.
I know in Montreal there's such a passion for the Habs. Like in Minnesota, I know they sell out rinks for high school hockey. And what can you say about the hockey culture there and how maybe that helped you?
Yeah, it's special. Played 3 years in high school, and I was lucky enough to make that tournament 3 years in a row. And it does show you the hockey culture in Minnesota and just how much people love it. And I think here might be even just a bigger step of how much people love hockey. So it's cool to see, and yeah, it was fun.
Ramish just said it's sort of like Canada South.
It really is. That's a good way to say it. So yeah.
Did you have a flow in high school?
I did, but we would go crew cuts and cut it short, just to kind of act like he's been there. Something funny we did.
the way the game was played and the breakaway you got?
Yeah, it was 4-on-4. A lot more time to make plays. So yeah, when I saw that chance to go for a breakaway, I went for it, and yeah.
Is there maybe an aspect of your game that you put an emphasis on during your draft year that now that you have your first development under your belt that you maybe will take a little bit more care during your current season with Kelowna?
Yeah, being 6'5", 6'4", around there. So I'm a big guy. I want to play big, and that's kind of the biggest thing for me this year is playing big, or getting open around the puck and just playing around the puck. That's kind of the biggest thing for me, and bringing that into Kelowna.
Any role model in the NHL, actually?
Yeah, I have two guys. Adam Lowry's a big guy. He's a great leader on and off the ice. So being from Winnipeg, I love watching him and taking a lot of tips and details from his game. And yeah, I'd like to use that. And then Tage Thompson, also a bigger guy. He's a little bit more skilled than Adam is. So I try to get a mix of both those guys.
How much emphasis has the staff put here on watching the Florida Panthers and how they were built and how they played? Because I think Frankie or Rob just mentioned it. So how much did they tell you to watch for that style of play?
Yeah, we watched a lot of video on guys like Brad Marchand and how gritty they are and how much they want it, and I think that's kind of the game they want from us coming up and for the future. So yeah, it's a big game, and they're champions for a reason. They're going to look at them and try to take details from them, and yeah.
You mentioned Thompson and Laurie, but when you look at like Tyler Thorpe right here, is it easy for you to look at him and take some tips from him because of your size? You're both big guy, and
yeah, he's really big, and he's also a skilled guy. But yeah, he plays big, and that's kind of how I want to play too. So yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hayden.
So I think it really changed just from settling in and being comfortable around everyone.
Remember you threw a few of those classic hip check last year, right?
Absolutely.
How did Rob Ramage help you over the last season? How much he kept in touch with you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Rob, Frankie Pouillon, and I mean, not as much so, but when I came into Laval last year, Dan, the D coach for Laval was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. They have such good knowledge, such good wisdom of the game, and incredible coaches. To be able to pass that down onto players like me who are first time in the league, first time getting into camps, and honestly, like they said in some of the meetings, you got to be a sponge, right? You gotta soak up every bit of knowledge you can. And Ramage, multiple years in the NHL. Dan, just an incredible coach. Again, years in the NHL and the AHL. Frankie, multiple years. They got a pretty incredible history here, just in Laval and Montreal for coaching and playing. So you can't deny the knowledge that they have. So you just got to soak it all in.
Frankie was talking to you about tighter gap, take away room, take away space. So, I think in the junior game you could probably get away with not having that as much.
Yeah.
But so how have you seen your progression in that area in terms of denying the blue line and just taking away time and space?
Yeah, no, excellent question. I mean, Again, also like they were saying earlier in the day, in the last couple of days, it's a changing game. Earlier in the 2000s, like you can sit back and let the play come, absorb the pressure. But now in 2025, it's all about defending at the blue line, getting back into the offense, and the transition game is so important. So it's really, I think it helped me just moving my feet, going to the gym, getting quicker, knowing when to attack, and not over compliant or over committing to plays. So really, it's just knowing and being confident in myself to be able to make a play at the blue line.
Does that impact